Saturday, December 19th. I hate to call Nana a liar, but it's tomorrow and everything still pretty much sucks. My eyes are nearly swollen shut from all the crying, and I've got a headache that just won't stop. I glance at my phone. There are 32 missed calls and texts. I scroll down to Addie's name and send her a quick text. I'm okay. Call you a little later. Then I pass over Griffin's messages and open the conversation with Margot. Sorry, my phone is just telling me if I'm centered or not. Here, keep it like that. Let me center it and then silence it. Alright, then I pass over Griffin's messages and open the conversation with Margot. Me. You awake, sausage toes? Margot. Of course I'm awake. Of course I'm awake. I'm stuck in the bed all day long. But can't get comfortable enough to sleep. How's Nana's? Me. Good. Have they cleaned between your toes yet? Margot. Stop. 3 exclamation marks. You started it with the nasty pictures. Margot. Change of subject. Tell me about the food. What did Nana fix last night? The moms won't let me have anything that isn't organic and GMO. Me. 3-layer chocolate cake with chocolate icing and chocolate shavings on top. I had a gigantic piece. Margot, you suck. I would give everything in my checkings account for you to bring me a piece. Me, I know all about the online shopping you've been doing, so I can guess what's in your checking account, and it's not enough. Margot, well, heads up if you're talking to Dad later. Well, heads up if you're talking to Dad later. He was mad you didn't call when you got there. Crap. I totally forgot I was supposed to check in. Me, how mad? Mad like when we broke the front window when we tried to turn Barbie's car into a rocket ship? Margot, ha 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 ha. He wasn't that mad. He called Nana and me and said that he called Nana and she said you were in the shower. I owe Nana one. She totally covered for me. Me, I don't want to admit because you'll never let me live it down, but I kind of wish I was there with you, sausage toes. I kind of wish I was there with you and your sausage toes. I wipe at my face, brushing away the tears. I could still get in my car and drive down there this morning. Even though I'll never hear the end of it, at least I could crawl into bed with Margot and not come out until Christmas is over. Margot, I wish you were here too. But you would be miserable. I'm miserable. Brad's miserable. Even our dog is miserable. You were right to stay with Nana and Papa. I try not to feel disappointed. I know she would welcome me. Outright. I know she would welcome if I outright asked to come down. But my sour mood would no doubt make her more miserable than she already is. Margot, are you okay? Me, yeah, I'm fine. I'll text you later. I'm not sure why I didn't tell her about Griffin. Maybe I'm afraid if I tell her about what happened, it becomes irrevocably true. Or maybe I know Margot's got enough to worry about right now. She's trying to play it tough, but she's worried about the baby. I power off the phone, ignoring the rest of my messages and missed calls, and drop it into the bedside table drawer. Can't deal with any more of that right now. My reflection is scarier than I thought it would be by the time I make it to the bathroom. I'm not a pretty crier. The red around my eyes makes them look darker than normal, and my normally tan skin has a sickly pale look to it. All my tossing and turning last night ruined the soft curls I spent forever perfecting when I thought Griffin would be excited to see me. Now my long black hair is a dingy, tangled mess. Once I've showered and dried my hair, though, I feel a little better. On a scale from normal, I'm gonna switch positions again. Switch positions for you. Alright, on a scale from normal to complete disaster, I'm somewhere around pathetically passable. At last I inch my way down the hallway toward the... I'm sorry if my reading is a bit choppy today, by the way. It's just that sometimes, I have this thing where I cut paper for fun. It's like shredding paper for my aunt. It's like government documents. And sometimes I accidentally cut my fingers, so it makes it hard to read the braille when the cuts are scabbing over. So, yeah. But also, it's just that sometimes this is not UEB braille. Like, I'm not used to reading UEB. Not UEB, the other kind, the American braille. I'm used to reading UEB, and this is not that. Yeah. I inch my way down the hall toward the chorus of voices coming from the kitchen and prepare myself for the onslaught. The family is here. My family is a wild bunch. My grandfather was born and raised in Sicily. He was supposed to go back home after spending some time in the United States, but he fell in love with my grandmother. As the story goes, my grandfather's mother almost started an international incident when she found out that he was staying in Louisiana. The only thing that stopped her was the fact that Nana's family was originally from a town near his. Dad always struggled when we came here. He was an only child, and he had no extended family, so sometimes he said that it felt like entering a war zone. I'm not as bad as him, but since we are the only group the only group besides my Uncle Michael that doesn't live in Shreveport, I feel something like an outsider. I didn't always feel that way, though. when I was younger, I spent most of my summers and every holiday here, surrounded by my cousins and the neighborhood kids. It was like summer. It was like summer camp. I was closest with Olivia, our cousin, Charlie, and Charlie's best friend, Wes, who lived next door. Uncle Bruce, Olivia's dad, even named us the Fab Four. But the older we got, the more it felt like we were drifting apart. The three of us all went to the same school and were part of the same clubs and cheered for the same team. So I threw myself into my clubs and my team. And it wasn't long before my visits became shorter and further apart. Aunt Maggie May. Aunt Maggie May catches sight of me the moment I enter the kitchen. Well, there she is, I declare. You look more like your mama every time I see you. I know those people who make fun of her southern. You know those people who make fun of her southern people talk? They must have gotten their source material from my aunt, Maggie May, who is married to my mom's brother Marcus, was one of those true southern belles back in the day, complete with the big white dress when she was presented to society. And she won't let you forget it. She pulls me against her chest, and I'm afraid I'm going to suffocate in her overly endowed boobs. Bless your heart, sweetie. Bless your heart, sweetie. I heard about your heartache. That boy isn't got the good sense that God gave you. That boy ain't got the good sense God gave a rock. Thanks, Aunt Maggie May. I think. Thanks, Aunt Maggie May, I think. I'm passed around the kitchen and kissed on the cheek, the forehead, and even the lips by Aunt Kelsey, who does not understand personal space at all. In a matter of minutes, I slide down onto one of the bar stools as the aunts resume their argument over over which ambrosia salad is better. Aunt Kelsey's which ambrosia salad is better. And Kelsey made the classic way, or Aunt Patrice's, made with Jell-O, and which one should be served for lunch on Christmas Day. I firmly in the anti-ambrosia camp. I'm firmly in the anti-ambrosia camp, but I keep that opinion to myself. Aunt Maggie May has two sets of twins. Has two sets of twins. Twin daughters, who are close to my age, and twin sons who are more younger. The twin daughters, Mary Jo and Jolynn, give me an awkward wave from across the kitchen table, and I give them a more awkward wave back. When they were young, all of their clothing matched, except for the monogram. Even now, at 18, they coordinate. It's ridiculous. They're a year older than Olivia, Charlie, and me, but we're all in the same grade. Charlie's been calling them the evil Joes since we were 12. When they locked him out of the condo when we were all sharing in Florida and nothing but his Star Wars briefs. Truthfully, he had no business still wearing those. Think. Small and tight. Still think. Small and tight. A group of teenage girls he had been flirting with all week. Saw him, and you'd have thought it was the funniest thing they had ever seen. Those girls giggled every time Charlie got anywhere near them for the rest of the week. He never got over it. My Aunt Lisa, Mom's twin, and her son, Jake, are here too. Sweet Soph, so glad to see you. Aunt Lisa looks so much like Mom, it's hard not to cry when I see her. I'm happy to see you too. I hug her a little longer than normal. She even smells like Mom. Where's Olivia? Already at the shop, she says. I hear Nana volunteered you to work there over the break. Of course she did, I answer with a smile. Jake nudges me and says, Dang, girl, you look like crap. Aunt Lisa smacks him in the back of the head. Jake, don't be a jerk. He laughs as he hobbles off in search of an open seat at the table. Jake broke his foot doing something stupid involving heights and visions and grandeur at his fraternity house at the LSU, and now he's wearing one of those boots. Charlie weaves his way to where I'm sitting, and I hop up from my bar stool, grinning. When he gets close, I haven't seen him in forever. I pause a second or so before giving him a half-hearted hug. I'm a little taken aback by his hesitation, but my arms go back. Go back around him immediately, and I feel better than I have all morning. Are you okay? Nana told me what happened with Griffin, Charlie says, when I finally let him go. Oh, of course Nana told him. She's probably told everyone by now. Yeah, I'm fine. He sits on the stool next to me. Other than the boyfriend trouble, how's it going? I shrug. Good. I guess. Busy. How about you? He nods. Good. Busy too. Charlie falls silent, and I'm racking my brain, trying to think of another question to ask him. God, since when were conversations with Charlie this hard? Before I have a chance to come up with anything, he says, well, we're planning to hang out after family dinner tonight if you're around. I swallow too much coffee and cough when the hot liquid goes down wrong. Family dinner tonight? I choke out. If word is spread about my boyfriend wanting to dump me, I'm not sure I can face all of the pity stares I'm sure to get. Charlie smiles. You know it. It doesn't take much for Nana to get everyone together and your visit will definitely bring out the extra table. We can go to we can go to Wes's after we can go to Wes's after to get away from the crowd. We visit we Wes vi- Wes lives Wes lives next door and has been more like Charlie's brother than friend, mainly because Charlie spent half his childhood at Wes's house. Charlie's parents met when they both worked for doctors without borders in the Philippines, where Aunt Ayan is originally from, and they both still donate time wherever they're needed. Charlie and Sarah stay at Nana's when their parents are gone, which means Charlie almost always ends up at Wes's. We'll make Olivia come too, he says. The Fab Four, just like old times. A nervous flutter runs through me, but I say, sure, that sounds fun. Charlie grins and grabs a muffin. He's out of the door before I can change my mind. Nana sets down a piece of quiche, Quiche. Yeah, Quiche. In front of me and gives me a squeeze. Feeling better today? Feeling better today? She whispers. I nod as she refills my coffee. We'll leave for the shop in an hour, okay? Okay, I answer. It's not like I have anything else to do. It's not like I have anything else to do now. The shop is really just an old house in a neighborhood that has become more and more commercial over the years. Most of the businesses opted to tear the houses down and rebuild, but Nana and Papa keep this cute little blue house the exact same as they found it. All of the yard out back is now mostly a greenhouse space, while the inside is stuffed with gardening supplies, statues, and other garden decorations. It's got that homey feel to it that totally works. When we were younger, we used to play hide and seek in the back greenhouse and help plant flowers in the front flower beds. The wave of nostalgia almost knocks me over as I start down the front walkway before Nana disappears through the side gate to the backyard. She nods toward the front porch. Olivia should already be inside. Would you help her at the counter today? I nod and stop in front of the wide set of the steps that lead to the front porch. There are red poinsettias lining each step, and a huge wreath made out of greenery hanging around the front door with a big red bow. The flames in the gas lanterns on each side of the door wink and dance, and I swear I can smell gingerbread. There's a big part of me that doesn't want to. Hold on. Big part of me that doesn't want to walk through that front door, no matter how festive it is. It's been a long time since it was just me and Olivia, and I'm suddenly nervous. I take that deep breath and open the door. Olivia is carrying a huge sack of potting soil to an old, scarred wooden table that sits in a corner. It looks like she's in the middle of reporting some, repotting some rosemary into decorative containers. Hey, I say. I must have startled her because she drops the sack, and a cloud of dust rises around both of us. I've missed her more than I realized, and I missed her more than I realized, and my reluctance melts away. I reach forward and throw an arm around her, hugging her close. Like Charlie, she hesitates before hugging me back. "Soph," she says against my ear, "what are you doing here?" I pull away and scan her face. We both cough, and I wave my hands around, trying to clear the air around us. I'm staying with Nana while my parents visit Margot. I'm surprised my mom didn't tell you. She nods. She did. I just didn't expect you here. Is everything okay? I ask. So it is going to be awkward between us. She looks like she's about to say something, but then stops when we hear Nana moan. "Good grief," Nana says, looking between us, then at the mess on the floor. "Well, don't just stand there, gawking at each other. Get a broom." And then we're both moving. It's almost dark when I leave the nursery with Olivia. Every house we pass is covered in lights, and there's a lot of traffic. People shopping or heading to holiday parties. "Are you ready to talk about it?" Olivia asks as she drives. For a second, I think she's talking about whatever it is that's off with us. But then she says, "Tell me what happened with Griffin." I grimace. We worked hard today, and Nana was right. I needed to keep my mind off Griffin. But now I force myself to replay it all in my head. Well, I showed up at this party. I pick at my thumbnail and run through the story again. It doesn't get any easier, no matter how many times I say it. And if talking to Olivia is this difficult, going back to school will be so much worse. It'll take a Christmas miracle for our breakup to be old news by the time I walk down the halls without Griffin by my side. "Oh, Sophie, I'm so sorry," Olivia says. "He really said that you weren't any fun?" By the tone of her voice, I can't tell if she's surprised. I can tell she's surprised as I am. I let out a groan and say, "That's what he implied." Olivia frowns. "So, the Sophie I used to know? The Sophie I used to know was super fun. He's clearly the problem." My head whips around at the Sophie I used to know part. What does that mean? But before I can ask, she says, "Well, you're here now, and we're not we're not going to let Griffin bring us down. We'll find something fun to do while you're here. Just like old times. There'll be a ton of parties during the break. I nod. But somehow hanging out at some old party where I barely know anyone does not sound like fun. Does not really sound not does not sound like fun or appealing. We pull in front of Nana and Papa's. The driveway and half the block is full of cars. So Olivia eases down the street, looking for a spot. Everyone is going to ask you about Griffin. He travels way too fast through this family. Nana tells one person, and then it is like some phone tree thing is activated. And often in an hour, everyone knows everything. I know what they all knew this morning at breakfast. And your mom already filled my mom in, too. My phone was still in the drawer upstairs, but Mom had tracked me down at the nursery. That was not a call I wanted to get. At last, she felt so bad. At least she felt so bad for me. She didn't even mention my detour last night. And I had to laugh when I heard Margot in the background yelling, Tell her I sent more pictures. Don't let on Maggie May give you any crap, Olivia says. She'll use any excuse to talk about how Mary Jo's boyfriend is being wooed by both LSU and B and Bama, and how Jolynn's boyfriend just got an early acceptance letter to A&M. It's hard to believe anyone would date the evil Joes. That's exactly what Charlie keeps saying. Olivia turns off the car, and we both stare at the house. Are you ready for this? She says. As ready as I'll ever be. When we step outside, we're greeted with pure chaos. The young cousins race through the hall on scooters, ripsticks at one another's backs. Hey, Sophie! Hey, Olivia! The tiny voices ring out as they lap us. The last little one to pass is with my youngest cousin. Is one of my youngest cousins, Webb. He's flying down the hall on his scooter, wearing black boxer briefs and a Superman t-shirt. Webb, I say, you seem to be missing your pants. Olivia waves him off. He's going through an anti-pants phase. Refuses to wear them if he's in the house, any house. Papa and a few of my other uncles are parked in front of the TV, arguing about the game. I lean in front of the TV. I lean down to kiss Papa on the cheek. Charlie and one of my other cousins, Graham, snuck him out of the nursery to go fishing. This afternoon, while Nana was busy in the greenhouse. How many did you catch? How many did you catch? I whisper. He chuckles and ruffles my hair. 5, but don't tell your grandmother. Of course, Nana was the one who asked Charlie and Graham to come get him when she realized that Papa needed a break. There's my girl, Nana calls from the stove when we entered the kitchen. She's wearing her Kyo y'all apron, and she looks like she was doused in flour. Why don't you both set the table? You, we're almost ready. Olivia grabs the placemats, and I follow behind with the plates. Sophie, Aunt Camille calls out. She's at the counter next to Nana, sprinkling croutons, okay, on the salad. What happened with your boyfriend? And who's this Paige girl? Was he cheating on you with her? Olivia throws me a look over her shoulder, then rolls her eyes. Here we go. There's no girl named Paige. He was talking to his friend Parker, I answer. Aunt Kelsey, who has a darter on each hip and one clinging to her leg, limps into the room. There's usually a fourth little girl attached to her, so I scan the area to see which one is missing. Where's Bertie? I ask her. Aunt Kelsey does a quick check and then seems to notice. It's for the first time that one of her littles is missing. She rolls her eyes and yells to her husband. Well, do you have Bertie? A muffled yes bounces back. She shakes her head, then continues into the room. I can't believe he broke up with you, she says, before dropping the 3 attached to her, one by one, in the high chairs lined up against the wall. I think its crime is more intent to break up. It's more intent to break up, Kelsey, Nana adds. The problem with the phone tree is a lot of the details get mixed up. Aunt Maggie May snorts. Well, I never liked him. You could tell he was up to no good by that look in those eyes. Not like Mary Jo's boyfriend. LSU and Bama are both just dying to get him. We hope he picks LSU. I just don't think I can root for BMA. For Bama. Even if my future son-in-law is the quarterback. Olivia pretends to gag. You didn't think Griffin was too bad when he helped fix your tire last summer. You didn't think Griffin was too bad when he helped fix your tire last summer, Uncle Sal says. Phil. Of course he helped. He had to. He was standing right there. And he was only trying to look good in front of Joe Lynn's boyfriend, who got a full ride to A&M so he could study engineering. Charlie, Graham, and Graham's older sister Hannah are laughing on the other side of the room where they'll where they're putting out the extra tables and chairs. Graham's the same age as Olivia's brother Jake, and they're both at LSU together. Honestly, I'm surprised that Graham's not in a boot. Not in a boot too, since if Jake is doing something wild and crazy, Graham is usually right behind him. Charlie's sister, Sarah, strolls in carrying a huge gift basket. Her long black hair is almost halfway down her back. Her cheeks have lost that baby fat, and she's a few inches taller than I remember. It's shocking to me how much she's changed since I last saw her. Nana, this was sitting on the front porch, Sarah says, then sets it down on the counter. Oh, how lovely, Nana says as she reads the card. It's from the Death Lofts. It's from the Death Lofts across the street. When did Sarah start looking so grown up? And gorgeous, I ask Olivia. Serious growth spurt over the last couple of months. Charlie is not happy. Now that every boy in school is has their eyes on her, she answered. And she made freshman homecoming quarterback in October. She did? How did I not know of this? I ask. I don't know, Olivia shrugs. I guess you haven't been around much lately. The kitchen door slams, and we all turn as Aunt Patrice, Uncle Ronnie, Denver, and Dallas come in wearing matching sweaters, and not the cute kind. I catch Denver's eye and nod toward the sweater. He points to his mom. Shaking his head. I can't help but laugh. Those poor kids don't stand a chance, especially since Aunt Patrice loves telling everyone they named their sons after the location in which their boys were conceived. Ugh. Aunt Lisa wraps an arm around me. Well, I liked him, but I'm sad things ended the way they did. You deserve better than that. There's no way I'm going to make it through this dinner. Don't worry about Sophie. I've got it all figured out, Nana says. And the room suddenly gets quiet. Oh no, this can't be good, I mumble under my breath. Mama, what are you scheming? Aunt Lisa asks. Nana tries to look offended. But we all know she loves getting in the middle of everyone's business. Well, when life gives you lemons, you get right back on that salad. When life gives you lemons, you get right back on that saddle. I'm not sure that's how that saying goes, Graham says. She just needs a date or two, to get her mind off her troubles, Nana adds. Aunt Maggie May looks way too interested in where this conversation is going. The girls and I know some single boys her age, and Uncle Sol's Uncle Sal's head pops up. After you set her up, I've got a nice boy in mind who works for me. Oh, 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 Aunt Patrice shrieks. I have an idea. Let's each of us pick one for her. I have just the thing. And then everyone is talking at once. What is happening? I ask no one in particular. Before I can stop this insanity, Nana produces a long piece of white butcher paper. This will be so fun, she says. Several aunts help clear the counter, and Nana lays the paper down. Then she grabs a Sharpie and starts writing dates, starting with tomorrow through New Year's Eve. Sarah, come help me with this, Nana says. Sarah shoots across the room and helps Nana tack it onto the bulletin board near the pantry door, and I give her a frown for being so quick to help. Sarah gives me a wink back. Movement at the back door catches my attention, and I see Wes peeking his head in. Charlie motions for him to come inside. It's been a while since I've seen him, too. His blonde hair and pale complexion stand out in this household of dark-haired, tan-skinned Sicilians. He looks taller than I remember, and he's not nearly as scrawny as he used to be. Okay, there. He sits down next to Graham and Charlie and points to the paper with a questioning look. They both shrug, but I have a pretty good idea of where this is headed, and it terrifies me. Nana stands up next to the paper and points to it. Vanna White style. This is how Sophie will get over that no-good ex-boyfriend of hers. Wes searches the room until his eyes fall on me. He tilts his head and raises one eyebrow, and I give him a small, embarrassed smile. There are enough of us here that we are all bound to know nice boys. We are all going to set Sophie up on a few blind dates. And by the time she goes back to school after the new year, she'll hardly remember what's his name. Griffin, Jake supplies. Nana rolls her eyes. Thank you, Jake. Oh, my God. I'm about to crawl under the table. This is a bad idea, I say from the back of the room, louder than I intended, and I'll be home by New Year's. Mom and Dad are coming home for your birthday party. I already have plans that night. Obviously, those plans included Griffin, but I still can't let this happen. Nana waves her hands in the air, dismissing my protests. I already talked to your mama. They're coming here for the party and staying the weekend, so you'll be here for New Year's Eve. This is not happening. Papa walks into the kitchen and I run to him. Papa, Nana has lost her mind. She's going to make me go on dates. Of guys I don't know. Papa looks at Nana with a twinkle in his eye. Well, Nana thinks of herself as a matchmaker, and I don't go against her when she's got her mind set on something. Don't I know it? Don't I know it? Uncle Michael chimes in. Sophie, run while you can. I've been trying to fix. She's been trying to fix me up for years. He's the youngest of the 8 kids, the only one who isn't married. Michael, the last 3 men I tried to set you up with would have been perfect if you would have just given them the chance, Nana says. And then she spins around to me. Sophie, this will be fun. Trust me. This can't be happening, I mumble. I wish I could click my heels and be at Margot's house. Never could. Aunt Maggie. Yeah. Aunt Maggie May says, then asks, so how does this work? She's licking her lips. This is guaranteeing to end horribly if she's involved. Nana chews on her lower lip. She's obviously making this nonsense up as she goes. No dates on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. So that leaves 10 free days of 10 dates. The boys have to be her age. Oh, and you have to post the activity that morning of the date so she knows what to expect. She doesn't get to know their names? Olivia asks. No, then it will not be a blind date, Nana answers. So we can pick anyone? Wait, I don't know if I like that one. So we can pick anyone? Jolyn asks. Charlie's head pops up. His eyes finding mine. He's shaking his head fast and mouthing evil Joes over and over. Do we even have a say in this? I interrupt. The room gets quiet, and everyone stares at me. Nana's face softens. Step outside with me a moment, Sophie. I weave my way through the bodies and toys and pray my face isn't as red as it feels. Aunt Lisa squeezes my hand when I pass her. Once we're on the back porch, Nana pulls me in for a hug. We don't get to see you that often, and we hate that you're so sad and broken. I just thought that this could be fun, like an adventure. It will give you something to look forward to each day. And even if the dates are a disaster, it will give us something to laugh about when you're over. I pull away and look at her. I feel pathetic, and I'm not ready to date anyone right now. Nana chuckles. I'm not trying to find you your next boyfriend. This is just for fun. Trust me. Fun. The thing Griffin said he wished he was having. The thing that was missing between us so apparently. The thing the thing the Sophie Olivia used to know was full of. Am I not fun anymore? If I do this, I have a stipulation of my own. I say, what is it? I get one free pass. If for whatever reason I don't want to go on one of the dates, I don't have to. No questions asked. Nana frowns, considering this. Done. So what do you say? I finally nod, and Nana beams. Perfect. Let the game begin. She pulls me back into the kitchen, and all conversation stops. She's agreed, Nana says. My family literally cheers. Now let's see if we can fill the board. I'll start. Nana walks into the kitchen. Nana walks to the white paper and writes her name under December 31st. Nana, do you even know a boy my age that isn't related to me? I ask. I know she can hear the nervousness in my voice. She bobs her head around. Sure I do. I don't know who I am going to pick yet, but I'll find someone. Great. I get to spend New Year's Day with someone. This is definitely going to be a disaster. Papa shuffles over to the paper and stares at the dates. How about I pick the 13th, since that's the night of your grandmother's birthday. No, the 30th. How about I pick the 30th, since that's the night of your grandmother's birthday party. I'll pick somebody nice. He scrabbles his name. 10 dates, and 2 of them set by my grandparents. Awesome. After Papa moves away, the floodgates open. Everyone stampedes to sign up. I stand in the back of the room, watching in horror. The only other person in the room who isn't trying to claim a date is Wes. He slides down on the table close. He slides down the table closer to me. He slides down the table. Okay, there we go. I can tell he's as embarrassed for me as I feel for myself. This can't be happening, I say. He turns to look at me. I haven't seen you in a while. How you been? I nod toward the board. That pretty much says it all. He laughs. Yeah, I guess it does. How are you? Are you still with... Oh, God. I heard he was dating someone, but I forgot her name. Laurel. Yeah, Laurel. He nods, then shrugs. I'm not sure what kind of answer that means. She is a grade ahead of us. She is a grade ahead of us, right? I ask. Yeah, she's at LSU now. I run my hand through my hair. Fancy to see the board once everyone is done. So y'all are doing the long distance thing? He nods, but doesn't elaborate. We're both too busy staring at the board. Actually, we're staring at Mom's oldest brother, Sal, and the pushing war he seems to be having with Uncle Michael over the final date slot. Nana stands between them for what looks like pure joy on her face. Uncle Michael wedges his body in front of Uncle Sal's and kicks his butt out. No, and sticks his butt out, effectively pushing him away. Then scribbles his name on the blank space. Uncle Michael turns away, his expression victorious. Uncle Sal steps up and scratches Michael's name out, then writes his next to it. Uncle Michael is too busy smiling to notice. What a disaster. Olivia stops next to me. Charlie and I covered 2 of the dates. There are only a few you'll need to be worried about. I let out a deep breath. Thanks. Unable to stand it any longer, I walk toward the chart. Alright, here's the chart. 12/20, Olivia. 12/21, Patrice. 12/22, Charlie. 12/23, Sarah. 12/24, free. 12/25, free. 12/26, MJ, JL. 12/27, Camille. 12/28, Maggie May. 12/29, Sal and Michael. Sal and this weird symbol, Michael. Let me see. 12:30, Papa. 12:31, Nana. Charlie stops and whispers, "At least the evil Joes have to share a day." "Yeah, but Aunt Maggie May has one, so that's not much better," I whisper back. "Olivia and Charlie will be fine, and Papa and Nana will probably pick someone from their shop. I'm mostly worried about Aunt Patrice. She's weird. Okay, now that the excitement is over, let's eat," Nana calls out. And there goes my appetite.